Now 4:30 on WKYT this morning. He was a leader in Kentucky politics for decades. Funeral arrangements have now been set for former Kentucky Governor and Senator Wendell Ford.
Two people involved in the hunt for two Kentucky teenagers are behind bars today.
And some big names in Kentucky politics throwing their hats in the ring for Kentucky governor.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning. It's your Friday. Welcome to WKYT This Morning. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Rebecca Smith. Welcome in. Hope you're having a great start to your morning. For the first track on the weather, let's turn to meteorologist Micah Harris.
The good news is we're not seeing much this morning. We have a few sprinkles down toward the southern zones. That's about it. Other than that, it's going to be pretty calm and quiet, I think, during the morning hours. Late morning, you'll start to see some rain increase from the south, and that'll push off into the viewing area later on today and throughout the nighttime hours before it switches over to snow. Current temperatures sitting there around freezing anywhere you look. And as we go toward the afternoon, we'll be just above that. 37, cloudy skies, winds coming out of the north. That never helps. But that rain to snow later on is what we're going to be focused in on. And I'll have your updated snowfall forecast coming up in a few minutes.
See you in a bit. Thank you. Let's get to the news.
Well, for decades, he served the people of Kentucky, first as governor, then as U.S. Senator. This weekend, Kentuckians will be able to pay their final respects to Wendell Ford, who died yesterday morning at the age of 90.
Funeral arrangements were announced last night. He will lie in state in the state capitol rotunda from 11 a.m. until 6 p.m. Sunday. Those who knew Ford say his legacy will be seen here in Kentucky for generations to come. WKYT's Garrett Weimer explains you'll find an example of that at the University of Kentucky.
He left his mark as a politician.
If I played a small part in making Kentucky a better place to live and raise your children, then I've made a contribution.
But here at UK, you'll find he also left his mark.
This loss is tremendous.
Eugenia Toma is the Wendell H. Ford Professor at UK's Martin School of Public Policy. Toma grew close to Ford when he worked there with her.
I talked with him just a week ago, and we said goodbye.
But he'll never be forgotten, not here. His face, his namesake, what he did and how he did it, all an important part of the Martin School's mission.
Of what he symbolized as a politician that I think people long for now.
Another tangible mark Ford left behind here at UK is the Public Policy Research Center that bears his name.
And in that research center, in the library, we house his papers, and so yes, his mark is tangible across campus.
As for his legacy,
nothing but fond memories of a very happy, productive, valuable human being.
And as he told us back in 1995, that's all he asked for.
The things I've done in Washington will help this state and its people. Then I feel like I've made my contribution, and I hope the people will see me as that.
In Lexington, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
At this point, the collections of Ford's correspondence papers and oral histories at UK libraries there remain closed, but a spokesperson says they will work with Ford's family to get their thoughts on when to open for the research there. For more on Wendell Ford's legacy, his funeral arrangements, and how Kentucky leaders are remembering him, go to WKYT.com. The attorney for a state senator arrested for DUI says the charge should be dropped because of more than a 100-year-old Kentucky law. During a hearing in Franklin County yesterday, Senator Brandon Smith's attorney asked the judge to dismiss the DUI charge. His attorney cited a statute in the Kentucky Constitution. It says members of the General Assembly will be privileged from arrest during the legislative session, except in cases of treason, felony, breach, or surety of the peace. The request didn't sit well with Mothers Against Drunk Driving.
Everyone who lives in the state of Kentucky, everyone who lives in the United States should be held accountable if they broke a law.
The statute in question was ratified in 1891. The judge did not rule on the request yesterday. Smith represents the 30th District. It covers much of southeastern Kentucky.
Well, one of the Kentucky teenagers accused of going on a multi-state crime spree is back in the Bluegrass state today. 18-year-old Dalton Hayes was arraigned in Grayson County Thursday afternoon. Crying and visibly upset, Hayes pleaded not guilty to statutory rape, criminal mischief, trespassing, theft, and burglary. He's been appointed a public defender. Police say Hayes and his 13-year-old girlfriend, Cheyenne Phillips, were on the run for 2 weeks. They were found in Florida last weekend. Cheyenne's mother, Sherry Peters, was also in court yesterday. Peters was in court for an arraignment on a custodial interference charge. Peters lost custody and visitation rights of Cheyenne years ago, but the two had recently been seeing each other. Police say Peters went to Cheyenne's home on January 3rd and picked her up. That's the same day she was reported missing. The judge entered a not guilty plea on her behalf and set her bond at $50,000.
The new state House Majority Whip in Kentucky has fired a woman who had pending harassment cases against a former state lawmaker. Yolanda Costner's attorney, Thomas Clay, said she was fired on Wednesday. Costner worked for former House Democratic Whip Tommy Thompson. However, Representative Johnny Bell now holds that position. Costner was at the center of a sexual harassment lawsuit against former Democratic State Representative John Arnold. Her attorney says he plans to add Bell as a party to Costner's lawsuit. A Kentucky man charged in the death of his niece more than 15 years ago has agreed to a plea deal. Stanley Deshawn took an Alford plea for manslaughter in Bullitt County. That means he does not admit guilt, but he acknowledges there is enough evidence to convict him. Prosecutors recommend a 20-year sentence. Deshawn had been charged with murder in the 1999 death of 17-year-old Jessica Deshawn. Police say she was killed after disappearing from her home. Well, it's a big problem in a small central Kentucky town. A WKYT News investigation found last fall that healthcare workers have noticed a dramatic increase in the number of heroin overdose patients in Cynthiana.
And leaders there brought in experts from bigger cities in northern Kentucky for help solving the heroin problem. WKYT's Jordan Valines has the story.
It's a drug that's infiltrated through Kentucky's bigger cities down to the smaller counties.
Just last month, we had 123 overdoses.
A drug plaguing people of all backgrounds.
I've seen friends die. I've had friends with family members die.
This drug, heroin,
it's affected so many people.
Was the main topic on the table at Thursday's community meeting.
Wake up and pay attention to the signs that are in front of you because they are there.
Where experts educated folks on the drug itself and how to know when someone's using.
I'm talking to him and he's going like this.
Almost everyone had a story about an addict they knew or a story about being an addict themselves.
You're constantly hearing like a voice saying you need more, even if deep down you don't really want more.
At Thursday's meeting, they passed out overdose prevention kits, and inside were 2 doses of Narcan. Now, this is a new way to administer a life-saving dosage of medicine meant to reverse the effects of heroin.
Holly Rosenberger, now 4 years sober, is hoping that medicine like Narcan will become more easily accessible.
And if someone would die on overdose and they didn't have Narcan or naloxone there to bring them back to life, that person might have not been able to do something that they would have gone and done great things if they would have survived.
All to help the folks whose shoes she's walked in. In Harrison County, Jordan Valines, WKYT.
Health experts at last night's meeting said there were more than 200 deadly heroin overdoses in 2013 statewide. They expect that number to triple for 2014 once the numbers are finally reported. Well, police say the same man could be behind robberies in 4 central Kentucky cities. 2 of them happened Thursday morning, about half an hour apart. Police say a Cash Express in Versailles and a check into cash in Frankfort were robbed. In both cases, police say the description of the robber is similar. They say robberies at check cashing businesses in Lexington and Nicholasville could also be connected. They have not made any arrests.
Louisville Republican Hal Heiner is expected to file officially for governor on Monday. Heiner, a former Louisville council member and mayoral candidate, is running with former Lexington Urban County council member Casey Crosby. Crosby is also the finance chairwoman for the Republican Party of Kentucky. The two will officially file in Frankfort on Monday morning. Agriculture Commissioner James Comer has made it official that he is running for Kentucky governor. He's also a Republican who filed the paperwork yesterday to run for the state's highest office. Comer's chosen State Senator Chris McDaniel as his running mate. He says he has big plans for Kentucky if he's elected governor.
This time next year, Chris and I will present a bold agenda to the members of the General Assembly that will change this state forever in one legislative session.
Comer will face Heiner and former Supreme Court Justice Will T. Scott for the Republican primary. Attorney General Jack Conway and former congressional candidate Jeff Young are the only Democrats who have filed so far.